Hello friends, welcome to this section. So in the previous sections we have studied about the listeners, some of the listeners, the basic listeners like view result tree, aggregate report and all those. So in this section we will be studying about some additional or advanced graphs. If you go to your, let me add a thread group. So if you go to a listener, you won't be finding these 4 to 5 listeners, that is JP and the rate GC. If you are finding this listener under the JMeter, the reason is that because in one of our previous sessions we have shown you that how you can install the plugin. So that's the reason you are being watched. But if you did not add the plugin, you won't be getting this. Now back to this listener. So if you're not getting this, the reason is that JMeter does not in the basic JMeter installation, these listeners are not there. All other listeners would be present, as JMeter is the Java oriented, so you can make or the developers can work on JMeter. They can prepare their jar file, or you can say additional functionality, and you can install in your JMeter, and you can then use that added functionality in your JMeter. Now those are known as plugins. So that is, you can install the plugins in your JMeter. So in this lecture we will be installing 2 of the plugins, so we can cover them in the later sections. So there are 2 options for installing the plugin. Let us cover both of them. So if you go to your JMeter plugin section, now the first graph I need to install is of Composite graph. So the Google is not opening. Okay, if I go to JMeter plugins here, so this site has a lot of plugins which you can use with JMeter. I'm interested in a Composite timeline graph. So I can download this. You can click on this download version and it would be downloaded. You can see it is being downloaded. Okay, so this zip file has been downloaded. Let me cut it and go on my desktop. I will extract this here. So under this lib you will finding this extension. So you need to copy this and you need to go to the location where your JMeter is installed. So I will go to JMeter here, and under the lib you will find this. You can copy and paste this file. Go under extension and copy these files and just go, then here also in extension, and save these files. If you check your JMeter, so current there is none of the file regarding this Composite graph. Okay, so now we have added the jar files for the Composite graph in my JMeter installation, and I need to close my JMeter and run it again. Go to bin and let me run it again. So JMeter has been relaunched, and if you can see here under the listener, I am getting a new graph, that is a Composite graph, which we were not getting previously. So by adding these plugin, our JMeter is now giving an a new feature to generate the composite graph. So this is the one way. This is you can install the plugin, or what you can do, you can download a plugin manager in JMeter and then you can directly install it from your JMeter, all the plugins. So you need to download the JMeter manager plugin, that is plugin manager. Yeah, that is this plugin manager. So you need to just download it as we done it before, and you need to save this in your JMeter as we done before. When you restart in JMeter, you will find this option manager, that is plugin manager. Before, it will not be there. After JMeter plugin installed, you will find these three sections. Install plugin will tell you what all plugins are already installed on your system. So we currently installed this JPGC plugin, so it is showing us installed. Available plugins would show we installed this custom timeline graph, so it is showing us installed. In this section, it is showing all those plugins which are available and you can download them. Upgrades, if any upgrade of this plugin is available. Now we need to download a new plugin, that is all those listeners which are starting with JPGC. So we have already installed it, but if you're not, in your available plugin section you will be finding something here. So you need to just check box it and apply the changes and restart your JMeter, and then it would be showing under your installed plugins section. Once the JMeter is installed, and if you go to your listener section, these are options of jp_@gc would be coming. So in this lecture we have installed two plugins. One is the Composite Graph plugin and the another plugin, that is JPGC, which have all these four plugins. Also we have learned two ways. First one is directly go to the website and download that plugin and save them under your lib folder, or another is install the plugin manager and add to your JMeter. Then you can directly install the other plugins from here itself. So let's go with those listeners one by one and see what actually they do. So let me add a thread group, and under these two requests, one is for google.com, so Google here and IP google.com, and the another one is for Yahoo, that is yahoo.com. and just add a listener. Let us talk about this active threads over time, and what I will do, I will put a load of 20 threads, and I say that all these 20 threads would be logging in ramp up period of 30 seconds. So what this graph would me show is that how much active threads in the course of time period. So let me save this JMeter videos, custom graphs, and the name would be active threads over time. Yes, this is the right, and let me run this. So what you will show is that number of requests, number of threads which are active per time. So as we are saying that 20 threads would be coming in a 30 seconds. So in this there would, on the horizontal panel would be 30 seconds, and on the left hand side this vertical will be showing the number of threads which are active. So let's say for the first second it was one thread active, and then the threads are increasing. So they will increase till the 20 threads are available. So you can see the 20 threads are available, and now the requests are being completed, and so the curve is going down. So the number of active threads are decreasing because the requests are being completed, right? So you can see for the starting one, the number of requests were increasing, and then they started decreasing. That is, the number of threads with respect to time was decreasing. Now we have another listener, that is response time. So as this graph shows the active threads, this shows the response time taken by these threads. Let us run this and see. So what it is showing me is that the amount of time which is being taken, that at this around 3 seconds, the average time was taken by the responses was around 2 seconds, right? And this red is for Google API. You can see here the Google, and this graph, this line is being plotted for Yahoo. So by this graph, you can easily underestimate that the response time taken by the Yahoo is much higher than the response taken by the Google, right? So you can see that for the Google, the execution is complete, but for Yahoo it is still going. No, for the Google it's still going, right? Now you can see here as well that for the first time, let's say till 30 seconds, the response time was let's say around 5 or 2 or 3 seconds for Google, but after 30 seconds the response time reaches to 28 and 30 seconds, and for the Google also in the later stages the time has been increased. So there must be happen something so that the response time is increased. It should have been constant like this, but it has been increased, so there might be something which needs to be analyzed, right? So this graph shows how the response time is going with respect to time. Next, there is a listener, that is transaction per second. As the name suggests, it will give the number of transactions which are being done per second. You can see here. So a graph is being plotted. Currently one request, one transaction is going per second. So it is pretty much stable, right? So these are the main three graphs which we studied here. So one was the active threads, which give that during the course of time the number of threads are active. Response time, it has shown 3 here. The reason is for the first run it showed this graph. I didn't clear the result, so it continued, and again the thread came and go for the second cycle execution, and for the third one it was again running, then I stopped. So I didn't clear the result, so the graph keep on plotting again and again. You can find here as well. So this till here it was first execution, then when rerun it from transaction, it start occurring again. The graph was similar like this. So the response time give the response time taken by the APIs over the time period, and similarly the transaction ones. So these are the three main custom graphs which are being used. We have downloaded one of the plugin which provides a very good listener, that is the Composite listener. Now what this listener does is that you can combine 2 or more graphs and you can view the result. For example, yes, we have a graph that how many threads were active and what are the response time. Now I want to have an integrated graph where I want to see that how when the thread increases on the server, how the response time is taking place. Let's say when there were only 2 thread groups, the response was 2 seconds, but when the active threads on the server was 100, the response time is increasing. So I need a feature where the 2 or more results of graph can be encoded. So this can be easily done with the help of composite graph. So when you click on graph, so currently it won't show anything. So you need to first run it so that graph can give you something, right? So the execution is going on. Let me stop and first clear all the old result. Now run this. Okay, so it has given me, the execution is going on, but it has given me that what all graphs you need in Composite. So I want that for all the active threads, I want the overall response time taken by the server. So you can see here that the 2 graphs are being plotted. So blue one denotes the threads. So you can see on the server the active threads are increasing, and the red one is showing the response time taken. You can change the color from here clicking on this current symbol. Okay. So you can analyze here that blue shows the active threads. So you can see as the active threads is increasing, the response time is increasing. So you can analyze these type of behaviors for your requirements. So I cannot say here like the server is not working fine or not, because the reason is I am using the API of 2 servers. One is Google and Yahoo. So it might be that Google is working fine or Yahoo not working fine. So let's say if I disable the Yahoo one and let us run this again. I will stop the execution and run it again. You will get a different type of graph now. So you can see this is the active threads and this is the response time, and the response time is coming pretty stable till now. Though there was a big jump. So something has happened here, that the response time has taken usually it was 2 seconds and it reached till 23, then again 23. So there is something which needs to be checked upon, right? So as the threads are increasing, the server is acting weird. The response time is increasing. It should not happen. Like the normal was 2 seconds, it should increase to 3 or 4 seconds, but is now increasing to 21 seconds. That is real a concern and should be looked upon, right? So with the help of this composite graphs, you can add 2 or more graphs and you can do a more detailed study of how your servers and APIs are behaving, and you can perform some corrective measures, right? So that's all. Thank you.